Sam.
My wife, Sam. And we thought we'd give an informational video a try. By the way, please don't get distracted by the big red tomatoes behind us. And as the title says, this is a video about whether you should travel to France this summer, whether it's worthwhile doing, especially in light of the COVID pandemic. We start with how COVID's been in France. Generally, France has managed the pandemic a little better than the U.S., I would say. As for the vaccination campaign, I would say the opposite is true in terms of how it went versus the U.S.
Not as good.
We're about 2 to 3 months, maybe even 4 months behind the U.S. About as of this date, May 14th or May 15th is when we're filming this. About 30% of the population has had their first shot, and about 15% has had their
complete
fully vaccinated. They're just now opening up the vaccinations to everyone rather than being a age category or a health category or a particularly sensitive work category.
And even then, it was kind of hard to get an appointment.
Even when they did and regarding the confinements, as they ominously call them here, their version of the lockdowns, we've been here about 10 months, and so we missed the very first one, which was the strictest one, where people apparently were literally confined to their apartments or house unless they had to make a grocery run or something. There's been 2 more, though, that we have experienced. They've been relatively mild, basically just curfews during the day, non-essential stores closed, restaurants.
And if you had to be out after the curfew, you would have to take either a printed out or, excuse me, on your phone an attestation, as they call it, where you're giving a reason for being out after curfew.
Right. And that being said, I generally found it pretty tolerable and mild, and people still got out and recreated, and the ski areas were all closed, but people just went up and hiked up the ski mountains and skied down.
Skied down.
One of the great things compared to the U.S. is that the schools stayed open for in-person
pretty
learning.
much the whole duration and time of the pandemic.
Right. So as the parents of a 12-year-old and 15-year-old, that was huge.
Yeah.
Made the move all by itself worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone would wear masks. They made it so that the parents couldn't just show up to campus. I mean, you'd have to have an appointment. There was no in-person, meeting too much. A lot of things were done on Zoom when it came to the parents and teachers.
So that being said, let's get to the topic you're interested in, which is whether you should visit France this summer. And the country is opening up on May 19th. Yeah, I got cheat notes down here. On May 19th, the curfew's, the curfew's just being relaxed. So it'll be 9 p.m. instead of 7 lifted on May 19th.
Right now, it was 10 kilometers.
Yeah.
But that's actually been lifted.
It's been already lifted?
The 10 kilometers, yes.
Okay. So
that's why we went to the pump track.
All stores, that's right. All stores and the restaurants are going to be back open. Restaurants only in the outdoor seating areas, which is kind of like the norm here. Museums and events will open with limitations on how many people can attend. And then on June 9th, non-EU travelers, with I think probably certain exceptions,
which we can get to, is vaccination proof or the other thing, the PCR test.
So U.S. travelers, Canadian travelers, etc., come on June 9th, unless something unexpected happens. Like Sam said, they'll need a negative PCR test or proof of vaccination. They're working on something right now called the Health Pass, which is probably going to be a phone app.
Some digital, yeah.
That you can somehow upload the information. That's still being worked on, so...
Probably something with a QR code would probably be the smartest.
So stay tuned on that. And so the next question is it worthwhile to come this summer, or should you delay it,
Until everything's fully back to normal.
Right. Well,
we're waiting to see ourselves.
I'm predicting it'll be a great time to come. Most experts are predicting that the prices, the costs, will be lower than usual. The number of tourists will probably be lower than usual, and things will be pretty much open. There may be some limitations, but during this pandemic, when the cafes, the terraces were open and so forth, it felt pretty much like full-fledged France.
Yeah, felt pretty normal.
Apparently, the Google searches on Paris has been huge, so probably always the best deals will be outside of Paris.
Right. You can always travel to Paris because transportation is pretty epic here. So you don't have to be right in Paris to go and visit.
Yeah. So I think it'll be an incredibly unique time. Let me remove that word incredibly. I don't know how incredible it'll be, but it'll be a pretty unique time to catch Paris in the summer. Not as crowded with tourists as you would usually find it.
A plus.
And probably some better deals.
Better deals, for sure.
I hear that I was reading some articles yesterday, and they said the airfares will be lower than
normal
before COVID, and as well as the hotels and other things like that.
And the one thing that I've noticed that a lot of shopkeepers seem to have been taking advantage of a bad thing of the closures. And there's been a lot of upgrading and updating and new shops actually preparing to open.
And if we know you and we like you, you can come stay with us.
Yeah. Hey,
we've got an extra room, and
yes, that's a plus.
We would love to have one of you visit us.
That's a plus. Yeah, and the weather is pretty spicy, pretty hot here during the summer.
Yeah, late summer can get quite hot. So.
We got a little taste of that when we first arrived. So, well.
Hopefully that's helped you make a decision.
If you have any questions, put it in the comments section, and we'll try our best to answer any questions that you might have that we may have missed.
And please hit the like button if you like the video.
And subscribe so that more can come.
Bye-bye.